Okay, that should do it, shouldn't it?
Okay. Yeah.
It'll be fine.
You are good. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Behind the Music podcast for the new single Bend.
Hey.
I'm with Dan. We're in the new studio, which is very exciting. And yeah, we're going to chat a little bit about Bend, the process of writing it, all that fun stuff. So, Bend originated in 2019, which is crazy, I think.
Well old.
It's well old. Me and Dan, for anyone that doesn't know, we went to college together and we finished in summer of 2019. And as we were finishing, we thought, let's try writing together. Let's do something. Let's just have a little day where we like muck about, see what we come up with. And so I came round to Shabby Road for the first time ever. And
Old Shabby Road.
Yeah, old Shabby Road, the bedroom upstairs. And we came up with this chord sequence, put like a really shitty like MIDI drum beat over it, and that was kind of all we came up with, really. It was just like mucking about. But anyway, Dan saved it into a folder and I forgot about it.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, we both just kind of forgot it existed. And then I found it in our Google Drive of all our music-y bits a couple of months ago, and I was like, oh shit, this is actually quite cool. Like, I quite like this. We could do something with this. But it wasn't like a full song. It was just about a minute of like the chord sequence and sort of random bits of drum beats in and out. It was just a bit of a mess, really, but it was really cool.
Yeah, it was quite normal, actually.
Yeah.
Surprises me. I'm not used to that.
No.
I put some sort of like dragon on it or something.
Well, you can tell, I think, that it was very like at the start of us working together, because you were still kind of like figuring out production and like whether you wanted to do it or not.
It now.
Whereas now we're very professional. But yeah, it was just very, very like safe and normal, but it was quite cool. The chords were really cool. The sequence was cool. And anyway, so I rediscovered it. I can't remember when I wrote this song, maybe March. And I knew that I wanted to write a song about what it is about feminism and women and stuff like that. And I was kind of playing with a few ideas, but nothing was really fitting. And then I thought, let me just have a listen back to this idea. Let me kind of see how it is. And I heard it and I was like, oh shit, like I can hear the whole song in my head. So I like figured out the chords quickly, like jumped on my piano and was like working it out and writing this whole song. And that's kind of how it was born. It's almost feels like two different start dates to the song, but I'm so glad that we did that first little experiment with the chords, because that became the song.
Honestly, I cannot stress enough how we literally just forgot it existed.
Genuinely, it wasn't like we'll come back to that. We were like, what the hell is this? Like, I think it was in a folder called like Idea.
I hope it was our idea.
Yeah, oh my god, it must be. It must be. So I sent it to Dan. I do what I always do, which is like write it really quickly, record a voice memo, and then WhatsApp it to Dan and be like, tell me it's brilliant right now.
And then 4 days later I get back to you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't like it, did you?
At first, I mean, I think my immediate thought was it needs to speed up a little bit. I didn't suss out that it was the backing track that we'd written before, the beat or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I didn't suss it out, and then when I kind of put two and two together, I thought, oh, actually, this would really work really nicely.
Yeah, it always it sounded like a demo with just keys. It kind of didn't really fit properly, because in my head I could hear like when the drums came in, the BVs, all this different stuff. But obviously, if you're just hearing it with no context, it's just piano and this like kind of weird like structure, and it just must have sounded quite weird.
It was a bit, yeah, it was a bit.
But yeah, Dan was like, yeah, it's all right, and I was like, we need to do this right now.
It's the next single. Like, oh god, it's okay.
All right, if you say so. We kind of recreated it and worked off of what we already had and built it from fresh.
Using all the new equipment we'd bought.
Yeah, with much better equipment, much more like experience. And then it was kind of born, really. I don't really remember much about the production process. You probably remember more about it than me.
I remember we got it done really, really fast.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because we had an idea already in place or not. I think it probably was.
Yeah.
But I remember getting the sounds. We got like everything done more or less in a day.
Yeah.
Then we might have done another day on vocals.
Yeah, that was the one thing that really sticks out to me, was that chorus, the band, that.
Yeah, that took us ages.
That took ages because I knew exactly how I wanted it to sound. I could hear it in my head. but I wasn't 100% sure how to like translate that to you and be like, this is how I want it. But also then how did we achieve that? And we tried quite a few different things. We tried a lot of like tremolos and vocoders and bits like that. We've probably got so many old versions that sound horrendous. I'm so glad that we were like, it's not quite it.
Yeah.
Because it sounds amazing now. But yeah, that took us a while. What do you want to like say what the actual thing that how we achieved that?
Yeah.
If you can remember.
Just about. What we did, right? Well, initially we were using a plugin called BitSpeak, which sounds like one of them Etch-a-Sketch things. Do you know those things?
I love those.
And it wasn't really working for us. So we thought, let's just track loads and loads of vocals, kind of Bon Iver style. And I think we did about 10 vocals. Something like pretty standard, 2 lows, 2 mids, 2 mid highs, 2 highs or something. I don't remember now.
Yeah.
And then we put tremolator on it, which is just a fancy tremolo. And I think it was that. I think it was as simple as that. I think.
Yeah, I think we in the start, I think we were trying to overcomplicate it a bit and be like, maybe it's this, maybe it's this. But I think it genuinely just was layering up loads of vocals, getting that depth and that like impact, and then getting that rhythm.
Yeah, I remember. I didn't want it to sound like a choir. I wanted it to sound like just one really big voice.
Yeah.
So if anyone cares, I made you go really, really close to the microphone. I don't know if you remember that. I made you
kind
do
of,
like,
yeah. I just remember like, I wanted it to sound like a juxtaposition from the main lead vocal. I didn't want it to just sound like me going bend. I wanted it to be like this impactful deep.
I would have preferred that.
Bend.
What she could have done.
But I just knew I wanted it to be like deep, almost robotic, like structured tremolo vocal, being very much like commanding. I knew that I needed it to be very like instruction influenced, not just like bend. It needed to be like bend.
Yeah, I actually just remembered another detail about it. We also used a synthesizer on to do that kind of manliness.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Did we put Little Altar Boy on there as well?
Probably.
I think we did. Yeah.
Probably. I know we did the Moog. We put my Moogie model the Model D on there. Just,
yeah.
But no one cares about that. So. I remember I think it was I was halfway through eating my lunch, like the day after. And I suddenly a million ideas came to my head. And I was like, oh my God. And I just went, and I don't think I told you about this, but I just went upstairs and just tracked like a load of random stuff.
I kind of remember doing it and spending like a full day on it. And at the end of the day being like, oh my God, this song is amazing. It's finished. We don't need to do anything else.
Yeah.
And then I think it was either that evening or the next day, you were like, I've just done a few little extra bits.
Yeah.
And I listened to it and it was like, the synth in the second verse had been added, the little piano melody right in the outro, all these different bits, and I was like, holy shit, like it wasn't even close. Like now it's like perfect. I love this song so much, and I knew it was going to be the next single, that in my head I was like, I'm not going to play this to anyone until it comes out, because I just want everyone to be like as excited as I am and like hear it and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I was so like sure I was going to do that, and then as soon as you sent me through that like extra added bits version, grabbed my laptop, grabbed my headphones, ran into my dad's room, and I was like, Dad, listen to this right now. I was like, put these on, listen to this. I filmed his reaction.
I haven't seen this.
Which is quite boring because he just basically goes like, it's just sat kind of still the whole way through. But yeah, I was like,
then he took his headphones off and went, I hate it.
Yeah, he took his headphones off and he was like, that's quite good, isn't it? And I was like, isn't it great, Steve? Tell me it's amazing.
It's cool, isn't it?
Do you like it?
I do like it.
But yeah, I was so happy with it, and it's just is and has always been one of those songs where I don't get this very often, but from the minute I wrote it, I was like, I love this, and I know that I'm not gonna like get bored of it or, you know, go off it anytime soon.
Right.
Like catch me in 3 months' time being like, oh my God, Ben is so embarrassing.
Oh my God.
Ben, oh my God.
How do you feel like? Because it's quite a departure from Dandelion People, which that was the last one, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel? What do you feel like you've learned since then?
Oh my God, so
when
much.
did that come out? When did that come out now?
Dandelion People came out in March, I think.
Blimey.
So like a good few months ago, like 4 months ago, which is crazy. Oh my God, it feels like such a shift, but like in the right way.
Right.
From like a songwriting perspective, I think I definitely wrote Dandelion People way before I wrote Bend. And I think lyrically they actually go quite nicely together. There's a lot of like metaphor in both of them. There's a lot of like referencing, a lot of imagery. They kind of, the words that I've picked for both of them go quite nicely together. You know, we talk a lot, me and you and Lewis and Charlotte, we talk a lot about like progression and how, you know, when we're releasing things, how are they going to feed in from one thing to the next? How is it all going to be cohesive? And I think they stand really nicely next to each other. It feels like a good next step. It's different, it's fresh, it's something that we haven't done before, but, you know, it still kind of holds, it's like linking pinkies with Dandelion People, like they're kind of holding hands a little bit.
That's the name of the EP, by the way.
Linking Pinkies, the EP. Every time I release a new song, I'm like, no, I'm resetting. This is me now as an artist. This is very representative of me as an artist. But I genuinely really feel it with this one more than I have with any of the others. That, you know, if someone was to listen to any of my music, released or unreleased, this song gives the truest representation of me as an artist and how I want to do music. Yeah.
Why?
Lyrically, I'm very, very proud of it. I think it's really nice lyrically. It says exactly what I want to say in ways that are challenging and complex, which I feel like I don't achieve very often. I think it's only one of those things where I will only achieve it if I'm not trying to do it. Maybe I listen critically and with a songwriter's head, but a lot of music that I listen to, including my own, I listen to it and I can almost hear the process of writing. I can hear someone like choosing those 4 chords and then choosing that bridge melody or whatever. But with this, it just feels like one collective piece.
It's a collection of the sum of its parts instead of individual
Exactly
parts.
What I'm trying to say. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, I wrote this song after a really long period of being in a place in my life where a lot of what I was experiencing was very negative things as a woman, and experiencing a lot of just like shitty men, shitty people, you know, being in a workplace that was not supportive in that context. It was very, very, very uncomfortable a lot of the time. And I think I bottled it all up for a good few months of kind of being like, you know, angry about it, but also like, I think I expected myself and I felt like other people expected me to just deal with it and just kind of be like, yeah, whatever. And so when I sat down to write this song, it was almost like me saying, you know, fuck off. Like, I don't want to have to deal with this. And I know full well that I'm not the only one that is dealing with this. I knew going into writing it that I didn't want it to be like cringy and like preachy. I just wanted it to be honest and be a reflection of how I was feeling, and almost like a set of observations about the expectations that are put on women in today's society and culture. And, you know, so many of the lyrics are just so honest about what I think women are seen to have to become. You know, the whole first verse is really just about this expectation of housewifery, basically, and this whole thing of women have to, you know, tend to their gardens and be really fragile and delicate, and everything is beautiful, and you know, if you're delicate and fragile, you're criticized, you're too feminine, and then if you're not that, then you're not feminine enough. It's all these expectations, and I think it was just me almost trying to figure that out in my own head and trying to process like, what the hell am I looking at here through song. The little French bit is one of my favorite bits in the song, because I'm not French, I don't speak French. But my dad said to me the other day, because I showed him the lyrics, and he was like, why have you done that? Like, why have you done that? But he was sort of like, is it an homage to someone? Is it like a reference to like an artist or something? And
no, I just like French.
I really like French. I like croissants a lot. But I think I did it because it almost felt like a reflection of people not understanding me and women. It's like, you know, I could say things and explain how I feel a million times to certain people and they will never understand it. So it was almost me reflecting that and saying, like, you know, I'm saying exactly how I feel, but you don't understand it because you don't speak the same language as me. You don't understand what those words mean. And now I just have to try and explain why I put French in a song.
That was a good version, like a good attempt to explain it. I didn't even know. I thought the interesting thing about this song is that the lyrics don't jump out to you on the first hearing, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like with Dandelion People, I suppose it's because it's a bit more stripped back.
Yeah.
The lyrics are very much not in your face, but you pick up on them straight away.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas for me, Bend, the first thing I noticed wasn't the lyrics, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Was this like a conscious decision?
I definitely think it was. I think with Dandelion People, especially like you said, because it's so stripped, all you've really got to listen to and absorb, you know, you've only got like 3 or 4 layers to absorb at once. So you hear the guitar quickly and then you focus on the lyrics. That's all there really is. Whereas with Bend, there's so much to it and it jumps around musically so much so quickly, and there's the big chorus that you're kind of not expecting. It's all these things. So the lyrics kind of embed themselves in. I kind of knew that I wanted the lyrics to be exactly how I wanted them. Every single word in that song is intentional. It's there for a reason. I chose it exactly that way. I put it exactly that way. Because it's quite a poppy song and it's quite not easy to digest, but it's, you know, it's quite palatable as a song. So I didn't want to just make the lyrics easy. I wanted to say it in a complex way. I don't want to have to dumb myself down for people to understand this. Like, if you don't understand it, if you can't understand it, that is fine. I've said it and I want to say it exactly how I want to say it. But what I found quite interesting was that my mum has listened to it quite a few times, and she said to me the other day, she was like, I thought it was about climate change. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I just thought it was about climate change. And I was like, okay, like, great.
It's a good thing for it also to be about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining, but that's what I like about it, is that in my head it's so clearly about this one thing, but I forget sometimes that people don't have the same context of like having written it and knowing exactly what every word means. So
I mean, it's good that it's still like a cause that you believe in.
Yeah.
It's not like she came downstairs and went, oh, it's about the decline of model villages in
yeah, exactly.
suburban Hampshire or something. Definitely get like a vibe of kind of that whole kind of scene of songwriters where you don't pick up on the lyrics the first time round.
Yeah.
But like the third time you'll listen to it, you go, oh, that's what they're on about.
Yeah.
You know, that whole kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that kind of songwriting is like my favourite to do because it's so challenging, and like I find it hard and I don't achieve it a lot. And I think it's hard because when you present someone with a set of lyrics within a song that are not super accessible straight away, you have to catch them with everything else. Like, you still have to make people want to come back and listen to it more times to then understand the lyrics. So you have to have all the musicality, the structure, the drive, everything else has to be just as strong as the lyrics so that people keep listening to it and come back to it and get caught by something. And I think that Ben does a really good job of doing that. It's just has that buzz to it.
Yeah, I definitely think it's quite a layered production, I suppose.
Yeah.
I was trying to think just now of if there was any really weird elements in it. But it's quite there's no men running or anything on this one.
No, we were
like
quite tame with this one, I think.
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
because...
there's a kalimba on there. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, kalimba,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
It's not that weird though. But...
Yeah, for us that's like like a guitar.
Yeah.
But I think because the chorus kind of is quite a juxtaposition to the verses, and it kind of comes out of nowhere and it's quite a statement. I think we were quite careful with not just throwing loads of bizarre shit at it. I think if we'd thrown lots of weird stuff at it, it just might have not really translated and held together as well as it does.
Yeah. I know that feeling. I mean, for me personally, I don't like pop music when it's too poppy.
Yeah.
I'm a big pop fan, but I need something in there to be a little bit ugly for me to be really interested in it.
Yeah.
It can't be perfectly, completely sheen. There needs to be some sort of jagged edge on it.
Definitely.
You know, if it's completely, it's hard to do this without slagging anybody off. But you know when you watch Top of the Crocs,
Top of the Crocs.
Top of the Crocs at Christmas, and there's like some, and you know you get the kind of that whole sort of DJ pop thing. You know, I'm not really into that. They're gutted now. Look.
Heartbroken.
I can hear them crying. Yeah. Oh no,
we've lost a fan.
We've lost one guy. No. Yeah, and I'm not really into that whole sort of pop thing. I need like there to be a few twists and turns.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that this one has got a few twists and turns in there.
Yeah, definitely. I think with pop music, it's so hard to find a balance because you want to write something that's accessible and fun, people get it, and it's listenable, and all those things that catch people and, you know, get lots of good listens and streams and things. But my least favourite thing in music and in writing especially is when I listen to a song for the first time and I can predict exactly what they're going to rhyme each word with, and I can predict where the melody's going to go, and I can predict exactly how the chorus is going to go, and I can hear the whole structure before I've even got to the end of the first verse. I hate that because it just feels so easy, and it feels so like you haven't tried. You know, there's no risk taking, there's no stepping outside the line here. It's just, I know this will sell because it's worked before, so I'll do it again. And I hate that. And so yeah, I was quite conscious not to do that.
When did you first realise you wanted to do that?
What, kind of stray away from the predictability thing? To be honest, I think when we started working together, because you're quite weird.
True.
It's true. But like, you did a very good job early on of kind of challenging my songwriting and being like, okay, but what about this? What about that? You know, and, you know, I grew up from the age of sort of, well, as a kid, but really from the age of sort of 10, 11 to maybe 16 of writing music in this very like easy, predictable style. It was all slow, emotional heartbreak ballads, and they all kind of followed this like, a similar structure. And so working with someone else who actually has a much broader sort of music taste than I do.
I sound like I was just like giving myself a, you know, give me a compliment. I didn't actually know you were going to say that.
No, but like it's true. Like having somebody else say like, you should try doing this, or even just sending me like songs by random people I never would have heard of, getting me to listen to like different music.
Captain Beefheart.
Not Captain Beefheart, but like all these different people and listening to different music and opening up my kind of awareness of music definitely kind of changed my songwriting approach.
I think if you watch like a Netflix show or any show or a film or anything, if you can guess what the plot twist is going to be, it's normally not that good.
No,
but my favourite film is a film called Mulholland Drive. And part of the reason I love it so much is about the 2 hour mark, the entire film completely changes into a completely different plot. And you realise like the whole thing was just a completely different film for the first 2 hours. And I think there's no way I could have possibly guessed that.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like keeping you on your toes, like hitting you with something that you're like, oh my God, I did not see that coming.
Sorry if you can hear that plane, by the way.
We'll just pause for the aeroplane. But, it is quite loud actually.
Yeah.
I remember working on it, and when we kind of had the whole song and we finally got that chorus tremolo bend how we wanted it, and hearing it in context for the first time, like I was like, holy fucking shit, like this, I love this. It's rare for me to write music and be like, holy fuck, like I can't believe that we managed to do that, like I wrote that and we put that together, like that's insane. I had a very clear vision of what I wanted the artwork to be, which was as you've probably seen, if you haven't, follow my Instagram at Anna Arfoy. But
when you first changed your name, by the way, I thought it was like Anna Arfoy.
That's what someone else said. They were like Anna Arfoy.
It's like pirates or something.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, on there you'll have seen the photos that we did with all the flowers up my neck. That was an idea that I had straight away, and that I knew I wanted it to be the artwork. And I remember pitching it to these guys in one of our meetings, and the photos were taken by Charlotte, who is amazing, and the makeup and all the flowers were done by Brooke, and she is just incredible. And I think through chatting through the ideas for the visuals with like these guys and coming up with different ideas, what became very clear to me very quickly was that I knew that it didn't need to be just my ideas going into this. I think the whole point of the song is women and different people having different strengths and different identities, and so I really wanted like Charlotte's ideas to come through and Brooke's ideas to come through. And when I was chatting to Brooke about the makeup ideas, I said, look, this is my concept, but I want you to just run with it, and I want you to do what you think will look good and bring your personality to it, because that's kind of the whole point of this whole release. So that idea came together so quickly, and they were amazing. And then I did a shoot with my best mate Lucy, who did the photos of the writing on different body parts.
Also did Human.
Yeah, she did the shoots for Human as well. She's a good egg. She's great. Just knew that I wanted photos of body parts, some with and some without the lyrics on.
I thought you were going to say some with and without the body.
Some detached and some attached. But yeah,
very painful shoot, that one.
Yeah. I'm still trying to reattach my knee. It's really sore. I think with this release and this song, I think in my head there was this very strong imagery of like bodies and female bodies and sexuality and that freedom of not having to kind of justify it or be a certain thing. It just is. You are who you are, and whatever that looks like, it just is perfect. And so I kind of wanted to get that visually and kind of get that in the visuals and the content that we're putting out on social media. Because I did think about, like, should I do a shoot which is a lot more suggestive and lean into that, which would have been amazing and I think does like serve a purpose, but it doesn't quite sit where I wanted it to in terms of what I was trying to achieve. And I think having photos that we have, which is there's one of like the top of my thigh, there's one of my back, there's one of like the sort of top half of my chest and my shoulders, and I think all those kind of shots do a really good job of serving the purpose that I wanted to achieve, because they kind of have this almost like solidarity and like strength in them, which is kind of, I don't really know why they have that, but to me they just look very like sturdy and it comes across as almost like a body rather than suggestive imagery, if that makes sense, which is kind of what I wanted to go for.
Yeah, I'd say that, I mean, personally, for me, I know that I was more affected by that than, say, a picture of you if you were, like, licking a carrot or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Excuse me, that's next week's post. Watch yourself.
Shit!
Yeah, so the visuals all came together really, really nicely, and I'm really happy with them. That's kind of Bend, really. That's it as a whole. It's all just women and defying expectations and figuring out why and what they are, and just saying fuck you, really, to anyone that puts them there. You should stream it now on Spotify, Apple Music, all major streaming platforms. Yeah, I think we've kind of covered everything.
Well, I mean, I think we're probably clocking in at about an hour and a half, so...
You're lying.
I don't know.
An hour and a half?
Probably. Let's have a look.
Oh my god.
Oh no, 40 minutes, about half of that.
Still, that's very long.
I feel like I should do some sort of belly dance now.
I really don't think that's necessary.
No.
But you know, if you want to. Nice.
No.
I really wish the camera picked that up.
This is why I sat here. I planned to end with a big belly dance.
Just so everyone knows that's watching, I didn't intentionally just film myself. I thought Dan was going to sit here, and then he sat over there, and then I said, do you want me to change the angle? And he said, no, I don't want to be on camera. So that's why it's just me.
Just that shot, I like that.
Oh wait, you're going to sit there? Oh, okay, well let me change the shot then.
Oh no, I don't. It's fine. I'm quite happy being off camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Does that not look a bit weird?
I haven't done my makeup.
If you have already streamed Bend, then thank you so much. Please keep streaming it, add it to your playlists, share it around with people that you think might like it, play it in the car when your friends and family don't want to listen to it. Yeah, do all that good fun stuff. If you haven't heard it yet, go and stream it, go and download it, whatever it is.
If you spend like an hour listening to this
and you haven't heard the song,
oh wow,
really go and listen. yeah, thank you so much for listening. I really hope you're enjoying it. Share it, stream it, everything. Follow all the socials. Anna Arfoy on Instagram, Anna Foy Music on Facebook. Amazing. Thank you all so much. And we will see you soon for the next music. Yeah.
Cool, I need a wee.
Go for a wee.
It won't stop. God.